大家好，我是刘荣洲律师。很多人问我说：“刘律师啊，你这个每天呢，这个又做节目又出庭，对吧？然后呢又见客人，又每天呢写东西，你怎么忙得过来？最重要的是，你怎么会有这个无穷的精力，对吧？”答案很简单，对吧？就是我们这个中华文化的瑰宝，2个字：针灸，不是一般的针灸。对吧？是 A+ 针灸，因为为什么呢？它不是 B， 也不是 C， 更不是 D， 它是 A， 不但是 A， 是 A+。所以呢，我强烈推荐 A+ 针灸。A+ 针灸是我的选择，也应该是你的选择。
Satellite images show the damage at Iran's deeply buried Fordow nuclear site after massive US strikes. New satellite images show damage after US airstrikes at Iran's Fordow nuclear facilities. Fordow was one of 3 Iranian nuclear sites that the US bombed early. Sunday morning local time, the strikes came amid an Israeli campaign to degrade Iran's nuclear program. New satellite imagery reveals damage at the Fordow nuclear facility in Iran after US military aircraft bombed the site. In the images, which were captured on Sunday by the U.S. commercial satellite imaging company Maxar Technologies and obtained by Business Insider, several large holes or craters can be seen on a ridge over the underground complex at Fordow, south of Tehran. The images show what looks like a layer of dust or debris caused by the U.S. airstrikes over the area and several tunnel entrances that lead to the underground facility appear to be blocked with dirt. President Donald Trump announced early Sunday morning local time that the U.S. had attacked Iran's Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan nuclear facilities in what he later described as a spectacular military success. He said that US aircraft dropped a full payload of bombs on Fordow, one of Iran's main nuclear enrichment facilities. The site is buried deep in the side of a mountain and is the country's most hardened facility, designed specifically to be protected from air attacks. General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said 7 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers dropped a total of 14 heavy bunker buster bombs on Iran's nuclear facilities. He described the operation, known as Midnight Hammer, as highly secretive and complex. Speaking to reporters early on Sunday, Kane said that the B-2S dropped the 3,000-pound GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP, which is the U.S. military's largest non-nuclear bomb and believed to be the only weapon that is capable of penetrating Iran's deepest nuclear facilities like Fordow. It marked the first ever operational use of the MOP, Kane added. Several of these bombs were dropped on Fordow. However, it's unclear how much damage the underground facility sustained during a press conference. Kane said that over 125 U.S. aircraft, a mix of the B-2S 4th and 5th generation fighter jets and aerial refueling tankers were involved in the operation, which consisted of a considerable amount of deception. He said that American forces used 75 precision-guided weapons against Iranian targets, including the 14 MOPs and more than 24 Tomahawk cruise missiles, launched from a submarine in an undisclosed location in the Middle East. Kane said the battle damage assessment will take some time, although he said initial indications are that all 3 Iranian nuclear sites that were struck sustained damage and destruction. Additional satellite imagery captured by Maxar on Sunday and obtained by BI revealed the aftermath of the U.S. strikes at Natanz and Isfahan, the other 2 nuclear facilities that officials named. Both sites are located south of Tehran in the center of the country. A close-up view of a large hole or crater over the underground portion of Natanz on June 22, 2025. Satellite image 2025 Maxar Technologies. The dozens of submarine-launched Tomahawk missiles targeted key infrastructure at Isfahan, with imagery showing that the site sustained heavy damage in The strikes, Rafael Grossi, the United Nations nuclear watchdog chief, said there was extensive damage at Isfahan. He added that Iranian authorities had reported no increase in off-site radiation levels. Following the U.S. strikes on the 3 nuclear sites, the U.S. bombing came after a week of sweeping Israeli airstrikes across Iran that officials said were intended to degrade the country's nuclear program and military capabilities. Trump, who had long pushed Tehran to agree to a new nuclear deal, had spent the past few days weighing whether to join Israel in its campaign, destroyed buildings at Isfahan on June 22, 2025. Satellite. Image 2025 Maxar Technologies. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has preferred a military solution to Iran's nuclear program, praised Trump for attacking the Iranian nuclear sites. Russian leader claims multiple countries prepped to provide Iran nuclear weapons following U.S. strikes. Tehran is in shock and we have fled with heavy hearts. Since June 13th, Israeli fighter jets have targeted Iran's nuclear sites, top scientists, senior commanders, missile launchers, air defenses, bases, warplanes, weapons production facilities, and other high-profile military infrastructure. Iran has retaliated by launching hundreds of ballistic missiles and drones at Israel, many of which have been intercepted. The U.S. bombing is a major escalation in the conflict that could see Iran retaliate by targeting American forces, as Tehran has threatened to do. The Pentagon has a large presence in the Middle East, consisting of warships, aircraft carriers, fighter jets, and ground troops. Both Trump and Pentagon leadership have called for peace, warning Iran it could see more strikes if that can't be achieved. Read the original article on Business Insider.